So good afternoon, everyone. Uh, so at the beginning of my speech, I would like to ask some questions. So the first one is that, have every one of you ever experienced and faced adversity in your life? Yeah. Have you ever felt that you nearly wanted to give up and you felt that life was so hard? I believe that everyone does, right? So in the following speech, I would like to introduce a person who is my idol, and also I believe that he is American's idol as well. He's Abraham Lincoln. So he is the 16th President of the United States. By this opportunity, I would like to briefly introduce his success, but most importantly, I would like to talk about how he overcame all the failures, torments he received in his childhood and his life. So I will also talk about how his words can influence others and guide us through the dark, and how to stand still. In his early life, he did not have much family warmth, and his father didn't maintain a work and didn't have to raise him because he went out away. And therefore, the only one that he could rely on was his stepmother, which he could rely on is that he ever mentioned that he owed his stepmother very much. His stepmother was an authentic, caring mother that raised him and encouraged him to read. But apart from that, he was so independent that he read on his own, and he decided to leave the place that he lived. And after on, he teach himself how to be a lawyer and taught himself law. Later on, during his political campaign, he has undergone atrocious and divided strife between parties when he wanted to become a party politician. Throughout his life, he held the belief that people should be born equal and slavery system should be abolished. At that time, his idea was not widely accepted because black people at that time were not respected. And he was even banned by the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court at that time. Despite being very honest and charismatic of his speech, he lost in some elections, and the congressman would be his final destination if he didn't strive hard to be the president eventually. Then I would like to talk about how he led the country to continue developing when he was the president. The Battle of Gettysburg was the most violent war in US history. During Lincoln's presidency, he adopted the carrot and stick approach, which means that the carrot is hard and the carrot is soft and the stick is hard. And so imagine that all people are rabid, and people are rabid when the rabbit have to eat carrot, and if they don't, people who are the imposters would use the stick to punish them. So carrot and stick approach was the measure that he adopted at that time. And he advocated the government to form of the people, by the people, and for the people. So this statement was made by him during his presidency, and he supported the freedom of citizens at that time. And in my opinion, I think there is something to learn from his lessons and at each stage of his life. At the early stage of his life, he did not have enough comfort from his parents, and he tried to use each and every opportunity of himself to read as much as he could. And I think after talking about his life lessons, I think I can conclude 3 points from him, which are the 3 Ds. So the first one is decision. I think before we have to choose to pick anything in life, we have to make a decision. So we have to be sure that we put our feet in the right place and to stand firm. And the second thing is that we have to dedicate ourselves to push ourselves forward. It's because we cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today. And the third one is determination, because after choosing and pursuing our dream, we have to be determined. We have to be determined that we don't have to be worried if we are not recognized, because we are worthy of ourselves. Thank you.